Audio check.
Test.
Ready? Let's go.
Ready for a new era.
Of racing in the Middle East.
6 rounds of competition. More excitement.
Let out into the new season.
We are the first generation.
Ready to get started.
We are
We are
The Porsche Carrera Cup
Middle East.
So, welcome everybody. Glad to have you with us. It's time for qualifying at the Dubai Autodrome, and as you can see, the conditions couldn't be better. 21 degrees Celsius, blue skies here in Dubai. We are racing for the third time in the new season in the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East. The debut season of this championship as a Carrera Cup. We started the season beginning of November in the Kingdom of Bahrain, together with the World Endurance Championship. Headed back to Bahrain, and now we are here in the UAE. Looking forward to great racing this afternoon. 4 o'clock we will see 12 sophisticated GT3 Porsche Cup car racing here. And now, as I said, it's time for qualifying. And with me, of course, it's Robert Lechner, the head and promoter. We're getting ready as we see Leo Willard. Here we are, the Austrian-German duo. Hello, everybody, wherever you watch us. Great that you're with us. And, well, Robert, yeah, let's send some, well, good mood and motorsport wishes from the UAE to Europe.
Yeah, we need to change our seating positions here, but hi, Eric.
Oh, it looks like.
Good morning in Europe, and yeah, happy lunchtime here at the Dubai Autodrome. It's great to be back here. 25 degrees is really, it really feels amazing when you come from Austria, like myself, with snow everywhere. And I can't wait for qualifying. It's getting official now. We are here for round 3 of the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East. Every year, once we return to Dubai Autodrome, it's a great track, a track that all the drivers really love to race on. It's also very challenging. I remember my personal experiences long time back. I once did the 24-hour race here back in 2008. So you see, I'm getting old, but also my job as the head and promoter of the series. I'm so proud to welcome all our drivers, first of all, our team members. So it's so good that we have basically a grid of GT3 Cup cars here, and thanks also to our partners from Porsche Middle East and Africa and importer Al Nabuda, that we can pull this off here under the sun of Dubai.
Absolutely wonderful conditions here. We see the 2 cars from Saudi Racing. The young man with starting number 3, Saud Al Saud. He was the rookie champion last year, and his teammate Khaled Al Ahmadi. They're racing here in the ProAm category. And this is a former Porsche Super Cup champion. We have him here as a coach. Dylan Pereira from Luxembourg. He's taking care of Basha Madini because his coach is normally Christopher Zöchling, but he's racing this weekend. So we will have him back in Abu Dhabi next weekend. We have a back-to-back race week here in the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East. And here, this is the helmet of Khaled Al Ahmadi. Also a young and very talented man from Saudi Arabia. And yeah, you mentioned it. We are in the Porsche Carrera Cup, the very first season of that championship. And tell us, what does it mean to you to be now finally a Porsche Carrera Cup? Just one out of 12 Carrera Cups worldwide.
Yeah, thank you, Eric. It's basically been a long journey, and we started this championship. So in 2009, under the name as GT3 Cup Challenge, I remember my first visit to the Middle East for racing was basically in 2005 to the Kingdom of Bahrain. But I've also, always enjoyed coming here. For example, together with my brother, when he was racing in FIA GT in 2004, we went to the Dubai Autodrome, which is 20 years ago. So yes, basically I'm traveling to the region for 20 years, and this championship kicked off in 2009. Later on, it became a sprint challenge. At some stage, we also had GT4 Club Sport cars as part of the grid, which was for sure good to get young new drivers into the championship. Like we saw Khalid Al-Ahmadi before. He was a championship in that category. But last year we decided to fully focus on the new 992 Cup car because, as you can see in the pictures here, it's not just only a beautiful car, it's a great machine. It has like everything you need that is safety related, but also when it comes to performance, of course, as we know from Porsche, everything, like even now we have ABS and traction control for our AM category. And that was basically the reason we said we don't need the GT4 cars anymore. We want to have standalone category all over 911 GT3 Cup. And at the same time, Eric, this is what opened the door to become a Carrera Cup, because it's important to be a Carrera Cup, one of these 12, as you mentioned. This is clearly and purely for 911 GT3 Cup cars. And like I said, last year we opened the opportunity, and finally, season 15 this year is our first ever Carrera Cup season here in the Middle East.
And this is the father of Colin Berninghaus, a lightning fast man from Germany, who was also very fast this morning. And he's fighting for the title, and fighting against Theo Overhaus and Janis Diak. So it's 3 young German drivers that are fighting for the first title in the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East. And we have to mention that Theo Overhaus really did an amazing job so far in this season. Won 3 out of 4 races. But nevertheless, Colin Berninghaus, as we see the car of another German driver, it's Søren Spreng, the man who is fighting for the title in the Pro-Am category.
And he's the reigning champion in the German Carrera Cup in Deutschland. He's the Pro-Am champion with his team here, GP Elite. So it's good to see. I consider them one of the best teams in Europe, and it's good to see them here taking care of Søren's car, because it's really warm here, as I said before, 25, 26 degrees. So it's a big challenge for the drivers in the car. As much as we enjoy outside the car to watch the racing and to enjoy the sunshine and temperatures, it's really a challenge for the drivers. Inside the cockpits, it's like nearly getting up to 80 degrees.
And as we see, Cédric Chasson, he's talking with the guys of Søren Spreng. We mentioned the young German Colin Berninghaus, and I had a little chat with him this morning. Let's hear what the young gun said before qualifying and his expectations.
So Colin, free practice session over, and you're on speed. How well do you feel prepared for qualifying, which is, we know, a very important session today?
Yeah, yesterday I had some problems with my new tires. Today was much better. I'm just more relaxed, I think, today, so I had a good free practice, yeah.
And it seems like we will see a fight between you and Theo Overhaus for pole position.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope I can reach Theo this time, but I give my best.
And we had 2 days of testing, and well, you said the first sector was not your favorite one. So how familiar are you now with it, and how happy are you now with the track?
Yeah, it's still my weak point, I think, at the track, but I'm working on it.
And expectations for the weekend? I mean, it's quite promising in the championship, and well, a lot of points to get here that weekend.
Yeah, I still can reach, I think, P2. I think P1 with Theo will be hard over the season, but yeah, it will be close.
And how crucial is qualifying now?
Yeah, it's crucial to get a good starting position because in the race it's very hard to overtake with these cars. So it's very important to get a good qualifying.
Even on that track, I thought here it might be easier to overtake.
Yeah, but you really have almost no slipstream in these cars, more side draft, but there you have to get alongside the car in front of you, but it's still very hard to overtake.
So good luck for quali.
Thank you.
So this was Colin Bönninghausen. I'm a little bit surprised, honestly, I have to say, Rob, because I spoke to some drivers who said, well, overtaking is definitely an option here on that track. What's your opinion about that?
So long story short, nowadays in racing, overtaking isn't that easy anymore because the drivers are getting better. There are less mistakes happening. But then again, if you see throughout the race of half an hour, the tire wear is going down. You really need to put yourself in a position to put the guy in front of you, the guy ahead of you under pressure, analyze where is basically his weakness on the track, and at the same time manage your tires really well. So I do somehow agree with Colin saying it's not like that easy that you just drive like next to someone, outbrake him, because especially in the Middle East there's a lot of dust, and also here at the Dubai Autodrome there's the racing line that's always nice and clean, and then if you drive off the racing line it's in general definitely more slippery and also more difficult to control the car under braking. Remember, these cars in the Pro category, they don't have ABS. So they don't have ABS, and therefore it's even more difficult to focus on the overtaking. But mistakes and errors always happen. We saw some close racing and fighting last year. I remember Harry Jones and Gillian Gordell. So basically until the line and until the finish line. So let's qualify first and see what's happening later on in the afternoon in race number 1 here this weekend.
We will be here with the race at 4 o'clock local time, so that will be 1 o'clock in Central Europe. As we see the car of Colin Bönninghausen, we just heard him. That was after free practice in the morning. He was on speed, he was very fast this morning. Fastest man in the free practice session was, again, Theo Overhausen.
Yeah, and the session is running like 3.5 minutes now, so you can see slowly drivers are getting ready. We have still 26 minutes to go. It's a half-hour session, and mainly it's only important to do 2 fast laps. Sometimes 1 lap is enough. On a weekend like here, with the Carrera Cup weekend, we have another qualifying for tomorrow, so in F1 is different.
Here we see the DHL car in the yellow and red colors. This is the man who is leading in the championship. This is the benchmark so far in the championship. And as we have seen his car, Robert, I would say, let's hear him. We also had a little chat with the man who is leading in the championship, Theo Overhausen.
And now we have the leading man in the championship, 3 race wins out of 4 races, Theo Overhausen, and you have been fast here the whole 2 sessions or the whole 2 days while we were testing here, and now the fastest man in the free practice session. Seems like everything under control.
Yeah, at the moment it looks very good for us. We had 2 good test days, a good session now, so I'm looking forward to the qualifying, and hopefully I can drive the pole position.
And well, it seems like Colin is also on a really good pace. So is it? Do you expect to see the battle between you and him in qualifying for pole position?
Yes, when you make the step to training to the qualifying, like from yesterday to today, that's amazing. He found like 5/10 or something like that. So I need to watch him, and hopefully I can also make a little step from the practice. I'm not so good, happy with my lap from the practice, but I'll watch the data and I know what to change for the qualifying. So I'm looking forward to be on pole position and keep Colin behind me.
But of course, you know how crucial the pole position is, even on that track, I guess, in a sprint race where maybe overtaking is a bit easier than on the other tracks.
Yeah, overtaking is good here. We have like 3 good options to overtake, but when the level is so high, it's always difficult to overtake with the same cars. So pole position would be a lot easier to drive today.
And as I mentioned, you are leading in the championship and had so far great races. What would it mean to you to get that title this season?
and it would mean a lot to me. It's the first Carrera Cup Middle East, and to win it would be very special for me.
Thank you and good luck for quali.
Thank you.
So this was the young man from Germany. He was the rookie champion in the Porsche Carrera Cup in Germany. Very promising talent. And Robert, yeah, it's good to hear. And every time I speak to the drivers, it's always the same answer. This title in the Carrera Cup would mean a lot to me. It would mean a lot to have it on my CV because it's a Carrera Cup. And I think this is also something to, we really have to mention that for all the drivers, they really want to win that thing.
Absolutely. I mean, this is what you go racing for. And my racing days are long gone, but still, I mean, winning a championship is always important, and it adds something to your CV. It shows that you are consistent, it shows that you are focused, and therefore we have 3 championships to win, like we see Leo Willard here, who is in the AM category. We have a Pro-Am category, and clearly Theo was talking about our Pro category. And in addition, we have a junior program for all the drivers under 25 years of age. So that means out of this junior program, being a Carrera Cup for us as an organization, this means we can send 1 driver at the end of the season to the official Porsche Junior shootout to basically have a chance to be selected as a Porsche Junior and run in the very important and high quality Porsche Super Cup next to the F1 platform.
As we see Leo Willard, he's one of 2 drivers in the AM category. Austrian man, I think we can say it's also a friend of the Lechler family.
Yes, I mean, I'm super neutral in my position, and I wish all the drivers best of luck and a safe qualifying session. But Leo definitely has been a friend for a long time, and a big petrol head, car collector, and a great drummer. We always keep talking about that, and I'm sure some of his band members from the Heizer Monkey, the Heizer Monkeys as they are called, they're always watching and cheering for Leo, and this is also why the entrant name of his team is Heizer Monkeys Racing. So it's funny to see how you can combine 2 of your passions. And basically being a drummer means you always have to stay in the rhythm, you have to be consistent. So if you are in a race car, it's pretty much the same thing. You have to find your rhythm, you have to make sure that once you found your rhythm that you stay consistent. And now it's all about warming up your tires for this qualifying session right now.
And I think in the back we see Sebastian Gorga. It's his competitor in the AM class.
Yeah, it's good to I saw them hanging out for lunch just before. So this is also what I mean a racing should be about, especially when you come here like in good faith and in being part of the AM competition. So they were even looking at date together and having a nice conversation while lunch. But I'm sure now, once the helmet closes and the engine is on, everybody wants to go and ideally achieve the maximum or the best lap time.
And as you mentioned, you are allowed to use ABS in the AM class, but you don't have to. I mean, you can decide. And what I heard so far is that Sebastian Gorga is not using it.
So very good details. Thank you for mentioning. Absolutely, this is worth mentioning. Because yes, you are allowed to use ABS and traction control, but in his case, it is, I mean, in general, it's not an obligation. And in his case, Sebastian decided, no, I want to train for, you know, the next category, which is the Pro-Am category, and also I want to train for maybe one day race in the Carrera Cup in Germany. And therefore, for him, it's much better. Even his real racing experience is only limited to a couple of races now, which means doing a start, doing a qualifying. You see him locking up now because, as you just said, there's no ABS, so he locked up a bit going into turn 1. It's easy to lock up the inside wheel here. But that's exactly what he wants to do and he wants to experience and to prove to himself, learning to handle these cars without ABS. That's a super, super difficult thing. There's a lot of camber that is used on those cars, so there's not that much surface left of the tire on the asphalt to control the braking. But that's what it needs at the end of the day to progress in such a category.
And his coach for the weekend is Mark Wallenwein, a former rally driver. He's now more into circuit racing, but he did the the German Championship, also some international rallies, and together with his brother Sandro. So he knows how to make it also when you're leaving the ideal line.
Yeah. Hi to Sandro in case he's watching, and I know the family, and they're coming from rallying. But now Mark, he has lots of experience. He's also an instructor at the Porsche racing experience. And it's good to see he's helping Sebastian here to adapt to this kind of racing. So let's see when we get the first lap times. At the moment there's only 2 cars on track.
We only see the AM cars.
So the track here is 5.3 kilometers. Lap times, the fastest lap times we've seen here in free practice were just a bit over 2 minutes. We have 16 turns, very difficult turns because they're basically sometimes blind. There's going a bit of uphill and downhill, so 16 turns. Therefore, it was good that we had 2 official track days or testing days, so the drivers could not just only experience and learn the track, but also work on the setup of their cars. And this is one of these tricky corners as well. Definitely a tough track to get the entry right, to get the position right, and stay within the track on the exit. So the track clearly is where the white line is. If you ask yourself, oh, he's driving over the white line, that's absolutely fine. So with your outside wheels, like in this case, when you watch on the left, that was a bit too much, by the way. He should not leave the white line with all 4 wheels.
Chris Norman will remind him about the track limits.
We have a very experienced race director with Chris Norman, and also as a DSA, our driver standards advisor, having Sascha Maaßen being part of that.
Here we see your brother, Walter Lechner Jr., together with the Saudi racing team. And I would suggest, Robert, as we're waiting for the other cars that will all be on track very soon, let's hear last year's Pro-Am champion, Basha Mardini, as we see his car here. He's preparing for his qualifying. I had a little chat with him this morning. So let's hear Basha.
And now I'm here with the Pro-Am champion of the last year, Basha Mardini, and seems like we see again a very tough fight for the title this year.
That's how it should be. I mean, it's amazing that we have such a tight field of drivers. Not as many as last year, but let's say the best drivers of last year, and it's anyone's game. If you put the lap together, you'll be P1, and if you don't, you won't. So there's no margin for error, and everyone is pushing really hard, very competitive, and that's how it should be.
And what we've seen so far in the free practice, well, you're lacking a little bit speed here. How does it look like for qualifying now?
Well, lacking a little bit of speed is 2/10 from 5th to 1st. So it's, let's say, not as big a margin as other circuits, or let's say in different situations. And looking at the data, which you so kindly waited for me to finish, it's a question of just calming down and not overdriving, putting it together. The lap time is there to be first by a good margin, and I assume all the others have the same problem, is that everybody is maybe trying a bit too hard, or we'll see. Quali is where it matters, and then actually the race is where it matters, because that's where the points are awarded.
And how is it for you racing in the UAE?
I mean, I live here. I live 15 minutes away, and everyone assumes that I'm always racing here, but the last time I drove on this circuit was 2 years ago in the 24-hour, and then the year before in the 24 hours. So when I was coming up through motorsport, I mean, I did lots of laps here in my personal car, in my road car. But as a racing driver, my laps here are either with this championship or in the 24-hour. And with this championship, this is I came once for a guest start 7 years ago, and then so this is kind of my first time with this championship.
And how crucial is qualifying now?
it's always crucial in Porsche sprint racing. Being in front is critical, and at least on the front row, then the start can make the difference. But so being first or second is vital. So I need to really put it together if I want a result this weekend.
So crossing fingers for you for qualifying. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we heard Basha Mardini, who told us that he lives just 15 minutes away from here. And I can tell you, we waited quite a while because he was so into his data. He was not so happy with his lap time during the free practice session. For sure, he wants to attack this weekend. I think he's 18 points behind the leader in the Pro-Am category, which is Ahmed Al-Shehab, the man from Kuwait Racing. As we again see the green and white cars from Saudi Racing.
It's always good when you can sleep in your own bed, so 15 minutes from here. So a home race for Basha, and if you can go for a little swim in the morning, so definitely he should have all it takes and all the support and family and friends coming to watch him race. But as he said, it's all qualifying time now, and in qualifying you basically set the foundation. As we can see him in the background, he's leaving the pits right now. So in qualifying you have to set the foundation. He clearly explained that this is where you start is basically where you race, and it can make your life much easier in the afternoon.
Here we have his car. We see the black and yellow car, looks very speedy. Starting number 89, the man from the UAE, Basha Mardini, and we see also his live onboard. Good to see this kind of images. And he's really willing to keep the fight on. But as I said, Ahmed Al-Shehab, so far he did an amazing job in the first 2 rounds in Bahrain. 18 points, the gap. But well, still a lot of points to get in this season. Here we see Søren Sprang, the man who's also fighting in the Pro-Am category. You mentioned it.
Yeah, finally the track is getting busy. We have 11 more minutes to go. It takes like, when you get out of the pit, it takes like 2.5 minutes, you know, to get ready to cross the start and finish line, to pick up the times, basically, the timing. And yeah, these cars now all need to make sure that they get 4 or 5 laps.
And what we also can say is that they all have like a fresh set of tires, but they have to do the qualifying and the race with that set of tires. So we see Khalid Al-Ahmadi, the man from the Pro-Am category as well.
Our GT4 champion from 2 seasons back. He's in the official Saudi racing team, so that's really that does mean a lot to us. It's Saudi Racing, a team that's led by Paul Spooner, a very experienced man in the region. I remember I already visited him back here in 2005, and ever since he has worked with so many local drivers and making them ready for all kind of different missions, let's say. So therefore it's good to have an official Saudi racing team, and it's also good. Oh wow, Saudi's locking up a bit. So we have a Kuwaiti driver here ahead of a Saudi driver.
Yeah, and what we've seen in the free practice session, that they made some kind of, well, we can say big step in comparison to the 2 days of testing. They were really on pace. Both drivers from Saudi Racing. Will be interesting to see how they get through this qualifying session.
Yeah, very good work by the team. Like I said, there's Paul Spooner, there's more experienced people around, like Sigi Müller, former F3 team owner and German engineer. Then there's a young engineer and instructor, Florian Janitz. So yes, they have everything it takes and the manpower behind. And speaking about behind, Theo Oberhaus has Colin Bönninghausen behind. I saw that before, Eric.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he's trying to stay within Theo once he opens the lap. What do you think?
It's all the fast guys. We see Jannes Dierk
and we see Jackson
at the back of the train, and Jackson Walls, a fast young man from Australia, also participating in the championship to prepare for the upcoming season.
That's really good to see. So basically the junior program all together. Theo in the DHL car, Colin in the Fire car, and yeah, slipstream is not that big of a thing here, but sometimes being like really close to a driver also helps you to just fully give it all and be motivated to achieve the maximum lap time. And yeah, let's see. Seems like Theo is very confident. He's leading this pack here, and he will officially open the qualifying session for these 4 guys, as we have 8 minutes to go. So that should be enough for 3 timed laps. But there's another warm-up lap, as we can see, Eric. We have to wait for one more lap.
Colin warming up the tires. Also Jannes Dierk, the very young man from Germany.
So the fastest man still is Leo. Leo from Vienna, he's still leading the pack with a 2 minutes 0:29. That's very close to what he was achieving before. So that's like 2/10 of his personal best time before. So that means the track for sure is a bit slower now as the temperatures are basically increasing. We have Sebastian Gorger in P2. And I think times are coming in now, step by step. Jackson still on a out lap, I guess.
But this is the train, and it's interesting to see that they're all together. These 4 guys will definitely be the one of them we can expect on pole position on the grid later on for the first sprint race of that weekend.
Yeah, I agree. These are the 4 cars and the 4 drivers fighting not just for pole position, also for the top positions on the grid, first, second row. First 3 rows, I would say, at least.
And we see a purple sector of Basha Mardini right now, so the man who wants to secure pole position in the Pro-Am category. So far, the fastest man in the Pro-Am is Khaled Al-Ahmadi. And now it's Basha Mardini, 3rd overall. As we see Søren Sprang, also a man who wants to be up in front in the Pro-Am. So we see it here in the graphics. It's Basha Mardini, who had a great first lap. And he is the champion in the Pro-Am class from the last year. And he has to fight this year also with Søren Sprang and, as mentioned, with Ahmed Al-Shihab. As we see a purple sector from Theo Overhaus. Purple first sector for him. We see Søren Spreng, but it's Ahmed Al-Shahab.
But we clearly see times dropping now, Eric.
The top, absolutely.
We see the times dropping now. Ahmed is the first one in under the 2:02, and now Theo. Wow, Theo just closely stays on top of the 2 minutes. That's the fastest lap time we've seen here the last couple of days around here.
And it's Colin Böninghausen on second, just 2/10 behind.
So yeah, here's the fastest man in the number 34 DHL team car. Let's see if he can still improve, because I could see Colin had the faster last sector. So Colin had the best overall last sector, but Theo had the best first and best second sector. And I can see now Theo is improving his lap time. He's done even a better first sector.
Again, a purple one for the man in the yellow and red car. And we see Colin just following him, but lost 2/10 in the first sector. So seems like Theo Overhaus has everything under control.
Yeah. It is important to stay within the track, obviously.
Waiting for the second sector time. That's an amazing job that this young man from Germany is doing so far. Again, a purple sector 2 for Theo Overhaus. And not even a personal best for Colin Böninghausen. So seems like this man is really flying. Theo Overhaus, the leader in the championship, on his way to pole position.
He's at the last corner, turn 16 at Dubai Autodrome. So stay within the track limits here. Make sure to get the gas down early.
Oh, it was
wow.
no purple one in the last one, but under 2 minutes.
Absolutely, we see the first lap time under 2 minutes with a 1:59.895. So I'm sure it will be checked now by the race director and race control and the stewards. It's their job. And here we have an onboard of Ahmed smashing the steering wheel. What is he not happy with? Was there traffic? Did you see any traffic? Maybe. Yes.
Maybe we can see what happened with Ahmed. Oh, he spun.
He spun the car. This is why he was basically angry about himself. He spun on his fastest lap where the tires are on the peak. But this can always happen if you push to the limit and sometimes over the limit.
But he's still in the lead in the Pro-Am class. So let's see if
P5
someone could benefit from that.
Absolutely, he's leading the Pro-Am category, but he's P5 overall, which is great with the 4 pro drivers, with Theo Overhaus, Colin Böninghausen, Jackson Walls from Australia. So, great.
We're seeing the last times.
Great result
of this qualifying, and it seems like Theo Overhaus, he's just flying again like he did in Bahrain. So it's unbelievable. The young German again on pole position. As we see,
we have the youngest driver in the grid in P4, Jannes Dirks, only 16 years of age. He will turn 17 in March only. So the youngest driver in second row again, P4.
But I'm sure he will be some kind of disappointed. I'm sure he wants to be...
He's a racer. He wants to be on pole position.
First row and wanted to fight against Theo Overhaus here in the qualifying.
And I'm sure he will do so later on in the race. So the checkered flag is out. So let's see if the times can improve for some of the drivers. Good to see Saud Al Saud in P5. Good job by Saudi Racing. And here's the checkered flag, exactly. So we have Saud Al Saud in P5. The man from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, ahead of Ahmed Al-Shahab, who had a spin on maybe his fastest lap. And then the teammate, again for Saudi Racing, P7, which means P3 in the Pro-Am category, Søren Spreng, P8, Cedric, P9 for his team GP Elite. So the two teammates, Søren Spreng and Cedric Chazang.
Yeah, and what we see is that Bashamadini, he will be really mad about himself. He's only 6th in the Pro-Am class, starting from 10th overall. That's definitely not the result Bashamadini was hoping for in that qualifying session. And we can see that Leo Willard won in the AM class against Sebastian Gorga.
Yeah, congratulations. Pole position for Leo, starting P11 overall. I'm sure he will be quite happy with his performance.
Here we see Jackson Walls, the man from Australia. He will be in 3rd position on the grid later on.
Very good result by Jackson. This race here a year ago was won by an Australian driver, by Harry Jones, and I'm usually he's always following our racing. So in case, Harry, in case you're watching, best regards to Australia from everyone here. So yeah, you can cheer for your mate. He's starting 2nd row later on in the afternoon. And the start is always super exciting because now we have grid position, that's one thing. But then it's about warming up your tire, getting the car to the grid and then getting it off the line. Make sure this car still have a clutch, you know. It's not like in a road car where you're now used only to PDK. No, these cars have proper sequential gearbox. They have a clutch. So you really, as a driver, you need to control the peak point at the start by your left foot. Yeah, that's also where all the adrenaline is. Now tires are checked, tire temperature, brake temperature. And these are the same tires the drivers will have to use later on in the race.
Exactly, that's why we hope that Ahmed Al-Shekhab won't suffer from that spin he had in qualifying. As we see the cars are coming back into the pit lane.
Yeah.
And we again can just point out it's time for racing at 4 o'clock in the afternoon local time, 1 o'clock Central Europe. We will be ready for the 5th race of the season, the Porsche Carrera Cup Middle East. And we will see again Theo Overhaus on pole position. Next to him, it's his countryman Colin Birdinghouse. Here we see the pole setter, the man who's leading in the championship. And that will be really an exciting grid. With Janez Diak, you mentioned it, 16 years old, a really young gun on 4th position.
I'm sure Jackson is also happy. P3, his best qualifying here in the Middle East. So that's good. Starting just behind pole position is always great, being in 2nd row.
Here we see the result one more time. As we said, Theo Overhaus, pole position here for the 1st race at the Dubai Autodrome ahead of Colin Birdinghouse, Jackson Walls and Janez Diak. All are rookies, all are fighting for the title. And then we see the fastest man, the Pro-Am class, Saud Al-Saud. And we see the fastest man in the AM class with your countryman from Austria, Leo Willard, ahead of Sebastian Gorga from Italy.
I'm sure Saud is very happy, and so is his team manager, Paul Spooner, and everyone in the Saudi racing team, so P5, making him the best Pro-Am driver and also giving him a good spot for the race. So a good achievement, well done. And yeah, so from my side, I would just say all cars are in one piece. For me, most important, or for us who do organize the series, most important is that everybody can take part in the race. All cars seem to be fine, no technical issues. And for the drivers, it's important now to check some data, but to also try to find some time to relax, to drink a lot of water, and just to make sure to be ready, because the race will be quite intense. So nearly half an hour in this car with all the pre-grid. It's more than 40 minutes in these warm conditions. So definitely the race is going to be a challenge, and there's no room for errors. And we'll see later what's happening, like around 4 o'clock, and the real start 4:30.
Exactly. We will be here with the live streaming again 4 o'clock sharp, and then the race at 4:30. And of course, we're hoping to have you all back again with us for great racing here, perfect conditions, wonderful racetrack, great race action. So I would say, Robert, thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric, and thank you everyone for watching, and thanks to all the drivers, the team members here. If you can hear us in the pit lane, good job. Let's get these cars ready for race number 1 here today afternoon, and I see you in the paddock.
So see you later, everybody. Thanks very much. Cheers.